guys, it's Emma from Aeobhel here. Today I thought I would come outside, get some fresh air, get some sun, and do a little book club episode with you. So yeah, excuse the background noise, but today I will be showing you the art books that I've collected over the past couple of years, and I'm going to talk to you about like why I got them, how I got them, what drew me to them, because I did get all of these books for different reasons. You know, not all art books are created equal. So yeah, I won't do a complete flip through of each book because A, that will take a while, and B, I think a great part of getting a new art book is like flipping through it for the first time for yourself and being able to have that experience, and I don't want to take that away from anyone. So I'll just show you my favourite pages and pages that I think are representative of the book as a whole, and hopefully that can inform you as to whether or not you want to buy them for yourself. But they're all great, and I'm sure, you know, whether or not you decide to get them, hopefully this video will be good. Let's get started. Now, the first two art books that I'm going to talk about aren't really my favourites. They're kind of just little extras that I picked up at a sort of like a flea market at my uni, and these are Art Deco and Art Nouveau books? Art Nouveau? I don't know, you know what I mean. These two books are just filled with a couple of, well, not a couple, quite a lot of different patterns and designs. And you know, like if you're ever like stuck for an idea, like for a texture or a pattern, these books are very cool. You know, they're quite colourful, and I don't know, like they're $1 each, so I thought, why not, you know? So yeah, I don't really count these books as like a part of my art book collection, but I mean, I guess they technically are, which is why I'm showing you them now. Next, I've got a couple of comic books to show you. Now, I'm not the biggest reader of novels in general, but I do quite enjoy comic books. At the moment, I'm reading Star Wars: The Old Republic. This is the next one in the series. This is Rise of the Sith Volume 1. But yeah, I didn't really buy these books for the art themselves. I more bought them for the story because I am a big Star Wars fan. But still, the art in these is great. I'll put a little clip in of some of my favourite pages. But yeah, especially like, I would like to get into comic book illustration potentially. So you know, it's always great to actually like read comic books and immerse yourself in that culture and you know, like learn from the greats. So I really enjoy these, although I didn't buy them necessarily for the art, more the story. Now, the next one that I've got here, I didn't buy for the story, I bought for the art, so it's the other way around. I mean, I'm sure the story is great as well, but I actually haven't had a chance to read it yet. That one's really good as well. I'll talk about this one to begin with. It's low, but I got this book specifically because I loved the illustration and the use of colour. The use of colour was a big one for me. I love, like if you have seen any of my art, you know I love putting contrasting colours next to each other. I think it's just so powerful and it adds a great amount of interest. And straight away, even just from the cover, you know, like the blues and the oranges, I thought went so nicely together. And you know, all throughout this book, it's just, you know, the use of colour is amazing. So if you are a colourphile, I don't know if that's the correct term, but if you love colour and you know, obviously this is a very cool concept as well, definitely check out Low. You're messing up my order, Hayley Bailey. Yeah, so the next comic book that I've got is Ex Machina. And this is again the opposite. I bought this one more for the story, not so much the illustration, although the illustration is great. I think I do love the line work in this. The colours are cool as well, but specifically the line work I was drawn to. Like I mentioned briefly before, I do want to get into comic book illustration, and because I love drawing faces and people and telling stories. So this is like a great example of this. Like the way that they draw faces and all the detail, I think is superb. And the use of colour is quite nice. Like it's not as like amazing or as eye-catching as Low, but still the colorist and the illustrator and the author as well, like all of them, this comic book is really good. So if you want a multifunctional book that you can actually read and enjoy the story and enjoy the art, Ex Machina is really cool, and it's quite an interesting concept as well. Next we have, ta-da! My Star Wars propaganda poster book. I'm going to take it out of its case. It's really cool. I love, love, love this book. This book I got from, I believe it was Barnes & Noble in the US. I got it because, like I mentioned before, I'm a Star Wars fan, and I loved this, like, I love propaganda posters. Like, every time I go to museums even, I love seeing like wartime propaganda posters. I find it so interesting how influential art can be, like the power of its message, whether it's right or wrong. Like, I'm not making a political statement here, but just how much it really influences people in their everyday lives. And I love having that applied to this fictional universe where, yeah, you see both sides of the war that they're having, but here you actually get to like kind of be a civilian in that universe and see what they're trying to push onto you, which I quite enjoy. So yeah, I love the simplicity of these designs. This is a good design book, I think. You know, they're all composed really well. The composition is just, it directs your eye, you know, it does a very good job of that. Next on the list, we've got this Masterworks book by Alphonse Mucha, I don't know. I'm not very good with names, so I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong. This book I got discounted down at Barnes & Noble, so $15, which I don't think is a bad price. I'm actually pretty happy with this book. I really love it because what interested me about this book was the line work. Like, I am a big fan of like different thicknesses in the line work. Again, I don't sound very professional here, like I don't know what I'm talking about, but like if you see some of the things I've drawn, I often use like different thicknesses of pens, and I loved how they did this, like when he chooses to outline things like very boldly and bring them to the foreground, and then he's got the finer lines for details, and sometimes he doesn't even use lines, he just uses shading. So having that aspect of it was very interesting, and I love how like there are even some like advertisements in here, you know what I mean? Like, I love the old-timey stuff. It's really cool. I know this is a shit show of a video. I apologize in advance, but I don't know, I'm showing you my collection. Hopefully some of these books interest you as well. Next on the list, we've got Tragic Kingdoms, The Art of Camille Rose Garcia. This book was a gift, and I love this book. Just because the art in it is beautiful. It's haunting and ghostly and gothic, and it's incredible. Again, her use of colour is amazing. She uses more supplementary colours and like gradients and stuff, and a lot of contrast in the bright colours, and then black. Like she uses black a lot, which is very cool. Another thing I like about this book in particular is the fact that, I'll just rest this on my shoulder and show you, is that it's like a detailed journey of her growth as an artist. So you start with her in the beginning of her career, and you progress, the book progresses with her growth and career. So you get a lot of sketches, you get a lot of notes, but you also get a lot of history and finished work as well. So this book really just has it all, you know. For me, like a good art book doesn't just have pictures. Like, I like to know a little bit about the artist. It's important that obviously the artist is credited here because it's her book, but in these other books, for example, it's important to me that the artist is credited, and perhaps you even get to like learn a little bit about their process or what inspired them. And I think all of these books do a good job of that. But yeah, this book, very cool. And it's huge as well. Look at that. I mean, it takes up the whole screen. Yeah, that's a good one. Next on the list, Icons by Jim Lee. This is like an Art of DC book. Really, really good stuff. The thing I like about this book, again, is like the versatility of it. It has everything from rough sketches of like a whole piece to like close-ups of the expression in the eyes and the mouth and like the face, to coloured artworks. I mean, it just has everything. It is more focused on like people, so you're not going to get that many landscapes or like machines or other things for referencing for reference while drawing, but it does do a good job of showing you like the human form and a lot of dynamic action poses. And yeah, I don't know, I really like this book. Also, I'm just a big DC fan as well in general. DC all the way. The next book, this is the second last book that I've got here today, is The Art of Fallout 4. But yeah, I love this book because it's similar to Icons by Jim Lee in that it has a variety in the type of pictures it shows. Like it has sketches all the way through to finished artwork, and it talks a lot about the concept and how the creators got to that point. But it also has like a wider subject matter. So it has people, it's got landscapes, lovely, beautiful dystopian landscapes, both natural and man-made. It's got machinery, it's got like disfigured like mutants, or like, I don't know what they call that. I haven't played Fallout 4, but it's got some really cool like deformed people in there as well. It's got animals. Yeah, this book really has everything. So I love using this book when I'm stuck trying to draw something perhaps that I don't see every day, that I'm not used to. This, you know, whatever you can think of, this book has it. So really good. Last and certainly not least, I've got The Art of Blizzard Entertainment. I got this one from the bargain bin as well for $20, and considering how like heavy it is, I think that's a pretty good price. This book I love for the use of like, okay, I love how imaginative it is. Obviously Blizzard, with all the video games and everything they're producing, you're gonna get some really cool, interesting creatures and monsters and warriors and assassins and all that. But more than that, I love the use of colour in this again. Like, for me, colour is such a big part of my art, and that having those contrasting colours, like I actually painted one of the paintings in this book. Like I was stuck for ideas. I really wanted to paint something. I didn't know what, so I copied one of these illustrations. I'll show you a side by side even. But yeah, no, this book is great. I love this book. It's so colourful and bright and vibrant, yet a lot of the subject matters are quite dark, so it's kind of like a juxtaposition in a way. It's very cool. But yeah, anyway guys, sorry if this was quite a random video. I'm by no means like an expert in art or art talk, but I thought I would just share my collection with you, and perhaps if you're looking to expand your collection, you know, you could look into getting one of these books. I mean, like, I really do love them. I use them all the time. I love looking through them. And yeah, if you have any art books that you love and adore and use all the time, perhaps you could even leave them listed in the comments down below so that I can look them up and see whether I want to expand my collection even more. Or yeah, let me know what you think. How could I improve this video format? I'd love to hear your feedback. Anyway guys, until next week, this is Emma from Aeobhel. See ya! Are you guys going to be a part of my book club?
You have a book club.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just filming a book club. Yeah, I'm showing them my art books that I own. So if you guys can sit here. Okay.
Advertising your book.
You can sit if you want. You can just pretend to read them.